When it comes to soccer all across Cochise County and southern Arizona, there are only three letters you need to know, and that is C-A-C. The Coronado Athletic Club has done amazing things, from the kiddos all the way up to people who have gone pro, legit, through the Coronado Athletic Club. And there is one man at the head of this organization, along with many other people, but one guy who is the face, and he is Coach Steve Settle. And that is who we are talking to today on this episode of Coach's Corner with Jeff Davenport, brought to you by the Ed Morse Automotive Group. Sierra, Vista, and Cochise County are backed by Morse. Coach Steve, always a pleasure to see you. One of my favorite people in the whole wide world. Always love catching up with you. Before we get into the details of Coronado Athletic Club and the history of it and what it's done, what it's produced, the kind of players and athletes that it's helped produce, what are some of the neat things that are going on in Coronado Athletic Club that parents who are watching this and people who are seeing this now will definitely want to know about and share?
Sure. So the last couple of years, it's been tough to find competitive games and leagues. The Open League we were in last year, it just really didn't meet the needs of our players and what we were looking at. So we've been talking a lot with the UPSL and the UPSL Academy and what they're trying to do for small clubs. So this next season, we've got a great rec program that we run with in cooperation with the city. And we're trying to figure out a way to help those players that want a little bit more than rec but aren't ready to commit to travel. So we're starting an MLS Go program for 7v7, 9v9, and U12 11v11. So that will give us home games here in a more structured program for our kids, so they could get a couple more practices a week, and then their away games will be with some teams in Tucson. And then after that, we're going to have a UPSL Academy program. We've been talking a lot with UPSL, and we believe a lot in their vision and what they're trying to do for the smaller clubs and smaller communities and creating a true pathway. So we're going to have a U14, U16, and U18.
What an incredible opportunity!
And
My goodness.
Yeah, that's going to be. There's now I believe 6 teams in Southern Arizona that are going to be a part of that. There's interest from teams in border towns in Mexico as well that would like to come over and play the games. So we're just trying to find a way to keep our kids here and keep them getting competitive games and competitive touches. And UPSL is really they're dedicated to helping provide that pathway. And we know that because one of our own players, Christian Gallagher, that was here, because of the opportunities that he was able to create by playing with the senior team and players of that ability and level, it kind of grew his game and helped him get to where he's at with the New York Red Bulls in their RB2 program.
Which is amazing that he played on these fields, he played at Buena, and now he's literally playing in the MLS.
He's doing amazing. We're so proud of him. I always joke that he's an alien. He just gets to the level. He takes some time to acclimate to it. He absorbs everything around him, and he just raises his game. And he was with the academy team with the New York Red Bulls, and now he's with RB2, and he's doing great there. And he's got a great organization around him, and he's growing. And it's fun to be able to get to watch him on some Apple TV games and their MLS Next program and their MLS Next live streams. So he's not here and we miss him, but we love seeing what he's doing.
No, it's incredible. And again, it all started with him with Coronado Athletic Club, Buena High School. I mean, obviously the soccer program's moving up through. How long has Coronado Athletic Club been around? You want to talk about the history of it?
So we started January of 2015. There's always been teams and competitive teams in Sierra Vista. There's great soccer players in this area. And there was a organization before us, and they were done. And so myself and the Maxwells and a lot of the other parents in the community were like, wait, we need to keep getting competitive touches for our kids. We want more than just a recreational program. And so that was our first year. So we're coming into our 11th season next January. About this time would be our 11th season. We're right in the middle of our 10th. But the youth system is really fractured in the state of Arizona right now. Part of that was to do with some decisions the big clubs made. Part of that to do is what happened to the youth system in Arizona after COVID. And so it's been kind of difficult for us to find our footing, but we're excited that UPSL has shown the commitment to the youth side as well as their senior teams. And we believe it's going to be a good way for us to keep our kids here, keep them getting competitive touches, and keep them getting challenged. There's players like Christian that playing on their age group was not meeting his developmental needs, and he needed to go up. And if a player's physically ready and mentally ready, and they've got the technical ability, they need to be challenged at that higher level. And luckily for us, the UPSL Division One and Premier provided that for Christian.
And
So,
that's what Coronado Athletic Club will make sure, that all of the talents of the kids will be accentuated to the highest ability.
yes, sir. And there's a lot of great players in our community that are playing for big clubs on state league teams all over the state, and we're extremely proud of that. And we're proud that we were able to be that youth club that gave them that opportunity to get touches. And if I'm the last coach that these guys play for, the student athletes, the girls and boys play for, then we failed them. We're supposed to just give them that foundation and opportunity where they can play at home in their local community with their friends. But at certain times, kids have other interest, or they get distracted, or through attrition as they get older. That we're a small community, it's hard just to keep that competitive balance. So it's great when we see our players playing at a high level for other teams. We have a group of boys in this community that are playing in conjunction with the Spartans out of Tucson, and they are, I don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse, but they're about close to winning their region, and that will put them in nationals in Idaho next month.
Oh my
so
gosh.
we are really excited about that. And there's 5 or 6 boys from our community that are on that U19 team, and they're doing amazing things.
That's incredible. Let's talk about your journey as a coach. Usually, a lot of times, coaches' journeys begin as players. What sports did you play when you were a kid?
So I grew up in South Phoenix, and I was a travel.
Which part? Which borough?
When I'm gonna say that it's Dobbins Road, not Dobson and Tempe. Dobbins Road in South Phoenix, at the foot of South Mountain, and I was on a travel team, and the best memories I've got from all of my sports growing up were from playing with that team and those friends that I made. And so travel competitive soccer was my first love. But I'm a kid from the 70s and 80s, and there wasn't a lot of love and support. So when I got into high school, we moved to San Diego, and I played high school football and ran track. And then I went on to play small college football in Olathe, Kansas at Mid-American Nazarene University. So my first love and passion has always been soccer. And my oldest boys, I got them into soccer because I thought, man, their mom was from American Samoa, and I'm like, they're going to be some big time heavy hitting football players. And I got them into soccer for their footwork, and they fell in love with the game, and they never played a down of football ever. I think Coach Thomas still gives me the stink eye when he sees my boys coming around. He would have loved, I bet, to have them on the football field, but they fell in love with soccer. And through their journey playing here in Sierra Vista, growing up and playing the game, they've played for American Samoa's youth and senior national teams. And I've had an opportunity to be a part of that and coach internationally with American Samoa's under 19 women and under 23 men. So starting in Southern Arizona as a player, and then building the club and having an opportunity to coach overseas, and working with all the amazing boys and girls that have come through our program, and helping them find colleges at their level where they can compete and have fun and get their college degree. And we feel blessed from our side being able to just to be a small part of that. And we're excited about their success, and with what Christian's doing. And, we've got other players that are currently playing. My son's about to graduate this May from Central Baptist College in Conway, Arkansas. So we love what we do, and we love being a part of our community in this small way. So we appreciate it.
It's Coach Steve Settle. This is Coach's Corner with Jeff Davenport, here talking about the Coronado Athletic Club, brought to you by the Ed Morse Automotive Group, Sierra Vista, Cochise County, backed by Morse. Normally, in coaching lineages, coaching legacies, it's like a tree. This tree right here that's starting to provide us some shade. There's trunks and branches there's branches of where you are the trunk, and the things that you've learned from other coaches. What are some of the echoes? Who are those coaches that the players on these fields hear the echoes of even today, that you you were firsthand involved with. And we'll scoot you over a couple steps,
Yep, yep.
couple steps here. So who were those particular coaches?
So for me, they say the best thing about American sports is that our kids are so balanced, because they grow up playing not just soccer, but they're playing football and baseball, and they're getting, when kids are playing baseball, they're getting their hand-eye coordination, and you'll see kids that are great middle infielders that are also great goalkeepers, and that is true. And for my background, it's the same. I grew up playing multiple sports. Um, I did 8 years in the Army. I was stationed here for a while, a couple of times in Korea. So my coaching background is a lot of from coaches from my college coach, Mike Redwine, and the way he carried himself and the integrity that he approached sport in the game, and the fact that it's more than winning the games. It's about giving a foundation and winning in life. So he was a major influence in me. I've had coaches that have done things the wrong way that I don't want to be a part of that. And I know I haven't always done it the right way. And I'm hoping that the boys and girls that play for me, and they understand that I'm human and I make mistakes too. But some of the training that I bring in, and the way I approach it is from my background in playing college football and from my time in the military. And so there's been a lot of people, and I talk to our student athletes and our players about this all the time. Even if you've got a good coach or a bad coach, regardless of how you feel about them, you could learn something from every one of them. So it's really important. So I bring a lot of that in. So I'm unique. I'm a little different in my coaching style, but I think the kids understand that and appreciate it. Maybe forgive me for it.
Well, let's talk about the philosophy. I mean, again, a soccer coach, I think, is going to be different than football, than baseball. It's going to be a very unique style of oversight, and especially because it's the entire Coronado Athletic Club, that you're looking at from the littles all the way up to, literally professional, semi-professional soccer players. But for you, what would you say is like your overall coaching philosophy when your team is on the field, you're on the sideline? What are some things that you are able to instill in them during the game, before, after?
They hate my quotes because they're corny, and I know it, but I think sport is, all of us, we're competitive and we want to win championships and we want to win state titles and we want to be the best, but it's given us a foundation for what we're going to do with the rest of our life. So at the end of the day, we're all an ex-football player, an ex-soccer player, an ex-baseball player. At the end of the day, Michael Jordan retires, LeBron retires, Muhammad Ali retires, everybody retires. So it's how we carry ourselves on the field, the interactions. Jesse Owens, one of the greatest track athletes of all time, said that the real medal or treasure is not the medal or gold medal that you win in the event. It's the friendships that are born on the athletic field. And I'm a true believer in that. Some of my own boys that are now in college, they're best friends that are serving in the Marines or off in college or doing another career. Their friendship and everything was born right here on these fields in Sierra Vista. So a lot of times I'm trying to manage a game, but I'm not losing sight of that because it's important to me. And I know that the players and the parents are passionate, and sometimes they may lose sight of that. But I hope at the end of the day, they understand that where I coach from and what I do for our club and our community, I don't have an agenda. All I'm trying to do is do best by our players and by our families, and give them a foundation where if they want to pursue like Christian is professionally, they can go after it. If they just want to have a couple good years in college, my son has no desire to play professionally. He wants to be a college coach and coach at that level. I want to give him that opportunity. His best friend is in Japan and serving in the Marine Corps, Sean Presnall, and I hope that sometimes when he's out in training, he remembers some of the crazy things I said on the field. It's all about giving these student athletes an opportunity to get those friendships, play the best game on the planet, play the beautiful game, and compete, and then go on and do great things, whatever they do, with the rest of their lives.
There's something interesting about the Coronado Athletic Club. You talked about it going into its 10th season, 11th season, in that decade mark. Do you find the camaraderie continuing from those who have started maybe at a young age and have, the 6-year-olds who are now the 16-year-olds, or the 8-year-olds who are now the 18-year-olds, through this system, growing together, not just as an individual player, but growing together as a team, as a cohesive unit on these fields?
We talked about it this year with our team. There's definitely a difference in this group and groups that I've had in the past. This group is playing in so many different places, and it has so many different teammates and relationships that this year at Buena, as a high school varsity coach, we probably should have worked on team chemistry a little more. But being from Sierra Vista, being from a small community, there's a different fight in our players. When you're at a big club and there's there's a couple hundred kids at just one age group, the 2007's tryouts, and there's 200 kids there. When we have our tryouts for it's 07, 08, it's combined, and we've got 35 kids, and we've got kids that are state level and kids that are rec, and it's just different. So when we come, we know that we're going to play against the bigger teams and the bigger clubs, and our kids have a little chip on their shoulder that we're going to fight, we're going to dig in, and we're going to do more because we know we're kind of the underdog everywhere we go. And I think that is something that when our kids go out into the community and do other things, when they're in other sports and they're doing other things in their jobs, or I think it serves them going forward. So I do see that difference in our players compared to other players. All kids are great in all communities. They all love the game, and they're coming from different families, but they're all amazing. But I think that's what helps the little small towns, and I think that's what's helping, a kid like Christian Gallagher all the way over there in New Jersey on the other side of the country, doing what he's doing, because he's not just fighting for himself, but he's fighting for his mom and his sister and his dad and his teammates here and his old coach. And I think that's given him an edge over the other kids that are coming in from different areas.
I think that was one of the highlights. I think obviously being a part of the Coronado Athletic Club premier level playoff games, and going to Phoenix to cover these games and watching them happen, but that signing that we did with Christian for the Red Bulls, that was an unbelievable moment in time, and certainly a great moment of pride for this club.
It was. Christian's more than just a player. He's family.
Yeah.
He's really close with my boys. They've been kind of like big brothers to him, and he calls me Uncle Steve. He doesn't call me Coach, and that means a lot to me. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of trust that we had from his mom and uncle and his grandmother, that we could make good decisions on his behalf to help him get where he's at. It was, when you're trying to push out the kid that could maybe bring you a state title, but you don't hesitate, because again, if we're doing it right, we're going to have more Christian Gallaghers, yeah, and we're going to have more student athletes that come through here and create opportunities for themselves. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Being able to see a kid come from Sierra Vista and end up hitting dingers for the Phillies, right? Or seeing Christian chase his, or Luis Robles walking out with the U.S. men's national team.
That's right.
And it doesn't get better than that.
No,
they when they do that, we know they're taking a little piece of us with them, yeah, and it's no better feeling.
It's incredible that all that can start here. It's Steve Settle, coach of the Coronado Athletic Club. It's Coach's Corner with Jeff Davenport, brought to you by the Ed Morse Automotive Group. Coach, before I get to my final two questions,
yes, sir.
You've done Coach's Corner several times, so there's going to be no surprise on these final two questions. But let's talk about, what can people do? They're watching this right now. They're saying Coronado Athletic Club, professional run organization that can launch my kid, potentially my son, my daughter, to a college scholarship, to possibly playing professionally. How do people get in touch with you? How do people get in touch with Maria? How do people get in touch with the Coronado Athletic Club?
Yeah, Maria's the responsible one in the group. She's got all the information. She was like, hey, we've got our UPSL Academy this summer, the first, second week of June. You need to memorize those days. I'm like, Maria, I can barely remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. So yeah, Maria, if you hit her up on the Facebook page and send her a message there, she's great at responding. Our numbers listed there. She's got all our tryout dates. The information's coming out with MLS Go, the UPSL Academy, and to kind of go back to what you're saying about those parents, man, just find a spot where your kids can fall in love with the game and get touches and encourage them to have fun, because that's what it's all about. Everything else grows from that. So we're hoping that, you know, the rec program continues to grow and the kids are having fun. And if they want to come over to MLS Go or the UPSL Academy, we're doing our best to help them chase their dreams and give them that foundation. But yeah, our Instagram and our Facebook, all that information is listed there. We're gonna stay busy over the summer and try to create some opportunities. You know, there's great schools in the area at Buena and Tombstone and ALA, and we have just so many opportunities to play competitive sports and competitive soccer. And we're just excited every time we see one of our kids go forward and do something amazing.
Well, it is an incredible program, and like you said, there's incredible programs that we're surrounded by that help build the Coronado Athletic Club to being
Yes, sir.
what it is. 2 questions left. Coach Steve Settle, first question: one day, the careers of all the kids whose feet touch this field, the young men and women, those young student athletes, their careers will come to an end as far as playing. What are the things that soccer can teach people, those intangible things that can teach these kids on this field that will last them the rest of their life, no matter what they do beyond their soccer playing days?
Oh, I can hear my ex-players are already speaking for me. It's overcome adversity. Sport is filled with adversity and turns and bad calls or calls against you or breaks, the ball bounces a different way. And you can't get knocked off. You've got to stay centered. You got to stay pushing forward, because it's going to happen. And that's what life, we all know that I see it every day working at Buena High School. I love what I do working with the credit recovery, and they're like, I can't wait to graduate. I can't wait to graduate. In the back of your mind, you're like, yeah, but there's more adversity coming. And just sport teaches us that it doesn't matter what we're faced with, that we got to pick ourselves back up and we got to keep moving forward, and we got to overcome adversity. And that's one of the things that we talk about all the time when we're in training and we're in games. And I believe that refs aren't supposed to get all the calls right. We're supposed to be challenged in that way. They're doing the best they can, but those adversities and those missed calls or that foul that we played through, man, that's life. And so overcoming adversity is what it's about.
A great example. And the final question for this episode of Coach's Corner: Coach Steve Settle, Coronado Athletic Club, Buena High School, all things soccer. What is your all-time favorite sports movie?
Jeff, you know, I changed my answer every time we.
That's true. See, that's the exciting part about this.
We do. There's so many great sports movies.
What is it
out
right
there.
now that would be your go-to, or something that just kind of comes in your mind that says, this is my all-time favorite sports movie today?
Last time we were talking, and I was telling a bunch of my students, because it was winter season, I had some wrestlers in the class, and I was like, you guys got to watch Vision Quest. And it's just like, oh, what do you mean you've never heard of Vision Quest? You're a wrestler. It should be, you can't wrestle without watching Vision Quest. But that's The Natural's such a great movie. Opening day was just yesterday, right? Yesterday, right. You got to be watching The Natural. Rudy, I'm a big Notre Dame guy from my grandfather. Rudy's such a great movie. There's so many great movies out there. But come on, we got to go right now. We're in the middle of March Madness. You got to watch Hoosiers. It has to be. So that's my go-to right now.
Gene Hackman, rest in peace. And one of the greatest sports movies of all time.
I know I'm the soccer guy, and I should be saying Next Goal Wins because I coach for American Samoa. It's an amazing movie that just had the
it's a great movie too.
It is, but right now, come on, it's March Madness. It's Hoosiers, and but there's so many good ones out there.
And one of the greatest soundtracks, by the way. I think the Hoosiers soundtrack is very goes under the radar of a lot of people's radar.
Yes, sir.
But Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. For more information about the Coronado Athletic Club, please go to their Instagram, go to their Facebook. You can find out more about how you and your kids, no matter what ages does Coronado Athletic Club do?
So the youth program goes from our U6, which are 4 and 5 year olds, and all the way up to our premier. We've got some old men playing in there, so they're still hanging on to the dream. So there's really no age group, and we really want, it's not just the boys side or the men's side. We're always talking to UPSL about stirring up more interest for the UPSL Premier and Division I for the women's side. Right now, they just can't. But we're keeping our fingers
It's
crossed
coming.
that
I know
it's
it will
coming.
be. Yeah.
Yes, and if we don't have an age group and you're a competitive player, there's a lot of great coaches in town. And a lot of great organizations that we work with, the Spartans,
Yeah.
and Vail Soccer Club's amazing, and FC Tucson and RSL. There's great opportunities to start here and get there. So.
And if you want to feel the pride of wearing one of these jerseys, which I was given, I did not earn this jersey. They gratefully gave it to me, put my name on the back and everything. I feel the pride of the Coronado Athletic Club every time this jersey or my other one. I've got two of them. It's insane. I love them both so much. I'm grateful for what this club is doing. I'm grateful for what it's done, what it's doing, and then the future that is going to hold. Who is going to be the next Christian Gallagher? Who is going to be the next kid that goes on to get a scholarship for college? A young man, young lady getting a college scholarship. It can happen through the Coronado Athletic Club. Be sure to find them on social media. Again, from the littles all the way up to late teens, early 20s, mid 20s. This is your opportunity to play the world's greatest game, the world's favorite game. It is the game of soccer. Coach, as always, thank you so much for your time. And thank you for watching this episode of Coach's Corner with Jeff Davenport and head coach Steve Settle with the Coronado Athletic Club, all brought to you by the Ed Morse Automotive Group. Sierra Vista and Cochise County is backed by Morse. Find out more information about the Coronado Athletic Club. Make sure you check them out and support these teams when they're playing these games, particularly those semi-pro games. They're absolutely free of charge to come to and so much fun. Learn more on social media. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sharing. As always, if you get any added value out of anything we do here on Cool FM Live, leave us a thumbs up, leave us a follow. We thank you for your time. Have a great day. And